do you feel the energy? Thought to myself, is she feeling me? Living my life at the end.
Sometimes, Dad, as your child, I want to make you proud in ways that. Get that vibe. Welcome back to my channel, man. It's the one and only TyTheGuy, back at it with another back at it vibe. Now look, guys, this is my first video of 2023. Something that I want to do going into the new year, y'all, is really bring value. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you click my channel, anytime you watch a TyTheGuy video, I want to add value in any way possible. Whether it's a vlog, y'all gonna spit some game, whether it's an Instagram reel, whether it's a TikTok, my goal is just to, you know, help you guys out, help everybody watching this video out. You guys love my dad, man. I got a bunch of videos with my dad on my channel. This is my first video, 2023. It's only right that I bring it in with my dad. So, Dad, go ahead and pull up to the TyTheGuy TV show. It's like Ellen DeGeneres. It's just my version. Yeah, dig. Man, Dad, you looking good, man. Now look, before we even get started though, y'all, make sure you like the video right now. Hit that like button and hit the subscribe button, man. Hit the damn subscribe button, man. Alrighty, y'all. So I wrote down a couple questions for my dad. Personally, you know, I'm going into fatherhood myself. You about to be a grandfather. My baby's gonna be here sometime next month. And you know, Dad, going into fatherhood, like I talked to you on the phone, sometimes I overthink too much, wanting to be the perfect father, wanting to be the perfect dad, but I feel like that's non-existent.
It is. Perfection. The only thing that you could perfect is being imperfect. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Elaborate a little bit.
Perfectly imperfect. Nobody will ever be perfect. Raising children, you will never be perfect. Nobody. You're never ready for it.
I think so much. I overthink about. I just want to be the best dad that I possibly can be, and like I feel like
you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna bump your head along the way. Okay, and that's just the gist of it. There will be days where you're happy. There will be days where you're depressed and stressed. I mean, there's gonna be days when you question yourself and say, man, what did I do? Am I really ready for this? Was I ready for this? Did I make the right choice? Did I make the right decision? So it's like a roller coaster ride. You get on a roller coaster, it don't go straight.
Mm-hmm. Right? Have ups and downs.
Exactly. You're gonna have ups and downs. You get on a roller coaster and you just went straight. Mm-hmm. Would that be fun?
No.
Huh?
No.
No. So life and raising kids is like a roller coaster. Mm-hmm. You're gonna have your ups and downs. You're gonna have your good parts and your bad parts.
Okay, so a question about this. When you're having your bad parts, when you're having your downs, when you're stressed out, how do you handle that being a dad? Because I feel like as a man, we don't have nobody to talk to. We have to bottle in our emotions, bottle in our pain, bottle in how we feel. How do we, how do you handle stress?
We used to bottle our emotions and feelings, but because talking to someone has always been shunned in our community, it's like, oh, it's looked at as a weakness if you need to go talk to somebody or talk to a therapist. That, you know, and it's healthy too. If you feel you need to go talk to somebody, a therapist or a psychiatrist or just somebody, period. Do it, because it's healthy for you.
What if you ain't got the money to do it?
It's
some
free.
People watching this,
it's free.
You might not have the money to do it.
There are avenues, plenty of avenues. All you gotta do is look. You can Google anything. You know what I mean? You can Google how to make a recipe. You can Google how to make a fix your car. You can Google anything. Mm-hmm. You can Google free help. Therapy, therapists, it's plenty of different avenues that you can go get help.
Okay, Dad, I want to touch on this right here. Something that I've been working on myself and trying to get better with is my ego. You know, when it comes to ego, what's your thoughts on ego?
Ego is a killer, man. Ego will ego will really make people dislike you. Mm-hmm. Period. Point blank.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best way to be is humble. Be humble. Put your ego aside because your ego can make you or break you.
The thing is that me personally, I feel like I'm extremely humble, but I feel like I have I have an ego when it comes to myself. Like, I have an ego with the man in the mirror.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, who are you trying to prove something to?
Trying to prove something to myself, but
what do you have to prove to yourself? You don't. Number one, people outside of your shell don't matter. Period. Point blank. Because you're gonna have people who like you. You're gonna have people who dislike you. You're gonna have people who like you because of the person that you are. You're gonna have people who dislike you who don't even know you, who've never met you. So to prove something to an outside entity, that it's a waste of time.
And
to prove something to yourself, what do you have to prove to yourself? You've look how much you've accomplished at your age.
Sometimes, Dad, I feel like I ain't accomplished enough. You know, and that's where my ego comes in. It's like, I gotta go hard. Sometimes, Dad, as your child, I want to make you proud in ways that, because I already know I made you proud, just even not going to jail. You know what I'm saying? Even not going to jail. But I want to make you proud, and I want to feel happy inside when it comes to just the feeling of my parents not being disappointed in me. I feel like every child, well, not every young adult, every child growing up feel like that.
But here's the thing, I look at where you are right now compared to where I was. At 25, you accomplished more than I had. You know what I mean? Period. Point blank. But we lived in two different eras as well.
And that's another question I have right there. The generation, which we talked a little bit about earlier, the generation gap between when you were born and when I was born. Do you feel like the fathers now have it harder or easier than being a father in your time, the early 90s?
I think now your generation has it a lot harder. When I was growing up, we knew what we had to do. See, social media plays a big part in your generation. So we didn't have all of that. You know, computers were just coming in. We didn't have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and all that, because back in the day, you had options. But today, them DMs give you many options.
Them DMs is the devil.
Them DMs is the devil. It's a work of the devil, like them waist trainers.
You might not remember, then you might. What was the worst advice you ever took?
The worst advice that I ever took?
Y'all comment down below, man, if we should start the podcast, man. I've been talking to my dad about the Father-Son podcast coming soon.
I don't think I ever had any bad advice, because you could take something out of all the advice that you get. But the only thing I could say about advice is use your own brain to figure things out. Don't depend on somebody else to figure something out for you. Okay? Advice is good because you can learn something from everybody. You know what I mean? A thief. You can learn stuff from
a
dope heads.
Yep.
You know, you can look at them and learn what not to do. Okay? Everybody can give you advice. A dope head could tell you, look, man, I took the wrong route. I got strung out on drugs. You know what I'm saying? You watch out for that. You know, but everything is a choice. Being a dope head is a choice. Being a thief is a choice. You You know what I'm saying? Everything is a choice. So it's all dependent upon you and the choices that you make. So, but I don't think I've really gotten any bad advice from anybody, because I learned, I take something out of everything that somebody discusses with me.
So out of all your life experiences, what shifted your perspective? I'm sure a lot of things changed your perspective out all the years you've been here, but give me some things that you've learned and shifted your perspective as you've grown into the man you are now.
I used to wild out in them streets.
Like every dad say that.
But what changed me is you. When I had you, that's it. I did a 180.
So
don't ever say I did a 360, because if you do a 360, you end up right back in the same spot. Okay? Whenever you change your perspective on things, say I did a 180, because that means you've changed. You don't end up in the same spot.
No, so that's the game right there.
But yeah, that's what changed me and changed my perspective on a lot of things, because I didn't want you to come visit me in a cemetery or in a jail cell. So that's what changed my ways a lot.
So how did you prepare going into fatherhood? Because you had me at 24, 23. So at 23 years old, knowing that you have a kid on the way, if you can go back in time mentally, so when you were 23 years old and my mom said, I'm having a kid, I'm pregnant, how did you, what went through your mind?
I was like, wow. I was like, I'm about to be a dad. I was nervous. I was nervous. I was like, man, I never regretted it though. You know what I mean? But, man.
What were you nervous about? Because I'm nervous all the time.
Sure, about having a child at 23.
But in your generation, a lot of kids.
I had friends who had kids at 13. You know what I mean? So, me having a child at 23, shit. Some of my friends' kids was 8 years old. You know what I mean?
Having a kid at 13.
They was popping out kids early. They was popping out kids early back then. So, but
what would my grandpa, your dad, tell you when you were 23? Like what advice did grandpa give you?
Don't go to jail.
I didn't mean to spit on you, my bad. That is hilarious.
Yeah, don't go to jail, because I ain't coming to get you out. You know, do the right thing. Raise your child. You're going to have ups and downs in your relationship. So stick with it. Don't just give up.
So how do you...
Because you look at... I look at my parents' generation, my generation, and your generation. My parents' generation stuck with each other through everything. That's why they've been married 45, 50, 60 years. You know what I mean? My generation, we be ready to say fuck it. You know what I'm saying? And give up quick. You know? Your generation, and my generation, we be quick to say fuck it. But your generation, them DMs be hot, like lava. You know what I mean? So you always have options, okay? And even though the options that they have is not good options, you know what I mean? It's just, you can have one foot in and one foot out, you know? And
I was thinking.
You got 1 foot in and 1 foot out, because just say, for instance, you get pissed off at your lady, or your lady get pissed off with you, and y'all fighting for a week, 2 weeks, a month, or whatever. You flip that damn phone on and scroll through them DMs. Oh, he cute. Oh, she cute. Well, shoot. Well, we ain't talking. We ain't really together now. You know what I'm saying? So here we go. So yeah, social media really fucked up a lot. It's a gift and a curse, because your generation has so many different avenues to make money. You know what I mean? Through social media. But that's the gift of it. The curse is all that stuff come along with it. You know what I mean? Having a little bit of notoriety, having a little bit of money, you know, a little fame. I would much rather be rich and nameless than rich and famous.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I'd
rather a person not know I have shit and not know me versus me being out there, people knowing what I have, knowing I got money, knowing I you know, I'm famous, I got a little name for myself. That just put a target on you. Period. It put a target on you.
Okay, another question, Dad. You was talking about social media, and we was talking about relationships and how 2 generations before mine, they would always stick together. What do you feel that a woman needs to do for a man besides just give him some booty? But what do you feel like a woman's job to do for a man is? Because I feel like it's really deep. Because when you get older, and everybody watching this video, I don't know how old you is, you can comment down below your age, but I feel like once you get, like, you're gonna find love sometime, you know what I'm saying?
But is it love or is it infatuation? Because it's a difference. Is it love or is it lust?
Well, that's all them people who be in the club getting them one night stands. That's lust.
No, I mean you have people who you can meet somebody at movies or church and lust after them. You know, but a lot of people who fall in love or think they are in love really aren't. Most of the time it's infatuation. Most of the time it's lust. But I mean, you know love when you feel it.
Do you feel like men as men, well, in our generation, I feel like a lot of women don't consider a man's mental health in a relationship. And I feel like that's extremely important, especially going through life. If you're gonna be with somebody, they gotta understand that your mental health is important just as much as theirs.
Yeah.
Because peace is so
Priceless.
important.
A peace of mind is priceless.
When it comes to a relationship.
Yeah, but mental health, it goes both ways. Like I said, mental health was always shunned in our community.
Why do you think that?
Because everything that we've been through, but it's been classed as being weak. If you need to seek somebody to talk to, you know what I mean? Even growing up, oh man up, quit being a little bitch. You know what I mean? And which that has damaged us for generations. Because it stopped us from actually getting the help that we need. You know, mental health is very, very important. You know, I suffer from depression, anxiety, all kinds of shit. It's a roller coaster ride. You know, but it's nothing wrong.
How do you deal with that being sober all the time? My dad don't smoke, my dad don't drink, my dad don't do none of that.
Because I used to do a lot of that shit back in the day.
So how do you deal with that now?
Depression.
It's people at your age, Dad, who through they ups and downs, through they downs, they injecting, popping pills,
Snorting,
drinking, snorting.
Yeah, I mean it's all dependent upon the person. You know what I mean? Like the type of vices, you know, that they have. Drugs and alcohol has never been one of my vices. I could stop. I've had people who told me, man, how you just stop drinking like that? How you just stop smoking like that? You know? It's called a job. I wanted a job, a good job. You know? But yeah, man, it is what it is. It depends upon the vices that people have. You know, some people get hooked on drugs. Some people get hooked on alcohol. Some people get hooked on women.
I know a couple people that's hooked on women.
You know what I'm hooked on? Cookies and cakes. That's what I get the fuck away from. Them cookies and cakes. That's my vice. You know?
I feel that.
But yeah, drinking and smoking ain't never really been, you know, I used to do it, but it wasn't nothing that I was addicted to. You know?
So, I got a question about balance. when it comes to yourself, when it comes to your relationship, when it comes to time, your kids? Where do you try to find balance?
You have to, it's just something that you have to try to do. Some people make out charts. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do, this at this time, this is what I'm gonna do, that blah, blah, blah. I freestyle shit. I mean, I make my wife upset sometimes because I don't spend enough time with her. I'll be upstairs playing my Call of Duty. She get upset. You know what I mean? But it's just about finding time to spend with each other and understanding like, hey, you got a job, I have a job. We have household duties. You know what I mean? We have things outside of our household, appointments. So it's really not something that you could schedule unless, I mean, it's just, that's your thing. Okay, this is what I'm going to do at this time. We're gonna spend time together here, like pre-planning. We don't pre-plan anything.
I think pre-planning is whack.
Yeah.
I think pre-planning is whack.
No, it depends on the circumstance.
I mean,
It depends on the circumstance. But as far as pre-planning life, you can't do that because it don't work. Things are not gonna work. Hell, you could plan to be on the other side of town at 4 o'clock and run into an accident and not get there till 6. You know, so pre-planning, man. What pre-planning does, it sets you up for stress. Period. Because most of the time you pre-plan, it doesn't work out the way that you want it to. So what does that bring on? Stress.
Yeah. Dang, what was I about to say? What mistakes that you've been through taught you the most about life? Like I kind of asked this earlier when we was out to eat, but what is life? What is life?
I'm gonna answer that question that you asked me. Putting trust in people taught me the greatest lessons, because now I have a distrust for people. I put a lot of trust and faith in people. I've treated people the way that I wanted to be treated, but it wasn't reciprocated back to me. You know, so therefore now, like in life, I would much rather be around myself and family than anybody else. You know, because I have a distrust for people. Yeah, I have close friends, maybe 5, 10 at the most, but that's it.
I can agree with that right there. I've learned
People
myself.
that you think you can trust,
You can't trust.
you can't trust.
You can't, like Tupac said. I think there was just one quote I seen. It was like, man, you can't trust nobody. And man, if you're not in my circle, it's hard to be in my circle. You know what I'm saying? Most of my circle is filled with family. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not in my circle, bro, I done learned so much stuff. I done been through so much stuff man, like I can't just trust anybody, man. People will people will tell you anything, try to sell you anything. People think people think that you think that they have good intentions, but really what they're really trying to do is get something from you, take from you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Ulterior motive. You know, but like even when I meet people, new people that I've known, everyone that I come across in life, I hand them their own rope. I say, here you go. So you can hang yourself. I'm not gonna look for anything. When I'm supposed to see it, I'll see it. But, you know, I just give them their own rope so they can hang themselves.
No, facts. That's a good way to go about it. What concerns you the most about the world that we live in?
There's so many things.
Name them.
Race issues, number one. You know, it's a terrible thing. I've dealt with it my entire life. Dealt with it in the military, terribly. Some people don't believe that it exists. It does. It's just more camouflage now. That's like one of the worst things that I could say. But it will be not your generation is bridging a gap. You know what I mean? But it'll be my grandchild's generation that finishes that bridge. You know what I mean? Whereas each generation is getting less and less. You know what I'm saying? But it'll be your child's generation to bridge it.
Do you think black people are ever gonna get reparations?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Why?
I don't think so. If we do, we won't be here to see it. It'll probably be 4 generations down the road.
You feel like black people miss out on a lot because we don't know?
Yeah, we miss out on a lot. We always at the...
It's crazy to me, Dad, because they didn't want black people to know how to read.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was a crime. They would take you to jail if you tried to read a book.
But let me answer your question. We always get to the starting line after the race is finished. So therefore we have to play catch up. We have to play catch up. And it's always been like that. Even when we attain knowledge ourselves, we don't share it with each other. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, if I tell him this, he might do better than me. So the fuck what if he does better than you? You know what I mean? Share the knowledge. You know, if something's come, I'm gonna give you a prime example. Cryptocurrency came out. You know what I mean? Some people knew about it, some people didn't. I was told about Bitcoin when it was about 80 cents. I thought it was a scam. I thought it was a scam. It was like 2008, 2007, 2008, something like that. I thought it was a scam, like some pyramid scheme shit. I was like, man, get the fuck away from me with that shit. And I kick myself in the butt all the time about it. But you know, you just learn from your mistakes. But somebody did bring it to my attention, you know, but I didn't take it. So I did have the chance for that, but it was on me because I didn't do it. But
Bitcoin being 80 cents is just wild to me.
Yeah, man.
Wow. This video getting a little long, y'all. I'll probably ask about 2 more questions before we wrap it up. But how do you want to be remembered?
As a good father, a good person, period. A good person in general. Just like, man, he was a humble guy. He was a good guy who would do anything for anybody, which is the truth. It's not a lie. Just want to be remembered as a good person, a good human being who loved everybody. Black, white, Asian, whoever. You know what I mean? Everybody is not bad. You know what I'm saying? And everybody in your culture is not good. So the people they call the enemy, everybody's not bad. And everybody who rubs elbows with you ain't good. So it'd be most of the time it's the closest ones to you who have something done to you.
Okay, that's some game right there, Dad. I told you we was gonna talk about this on the camera because my dad, because I'm finna get me a new whip, right? I'm finna get me a new whip, and my dad makes 100% sense, but I don't know if I'm tripping or I don't know. So basically, I'm gonna explain it. Okay, say you have $30,000, right? You about to buy a car for $30,000, and you got a BMW.
Hold on, rewind it.
You can explain.
I'm gonna break it down to you, okay? And this goes to all you social media influencers. You're called influencers for a reason because people listen to you. They take what you say into consideration. You know what I mean? So all you social media influencers, I'm not just talking to my son, I'm talking to all of you social media influencers. You guys have a platform and you could change things. You could change the way young people think. You could, because you have adults who watch you too. You could change the way some adults think. But you could change the playing field because people take what you say into consideration. Here's the example. You have $30,000, okay? Most social media influencers, you guys are going to look at G-Wagons, Range Rovers.
You ain't gonna find that with $30,000.
No, I'm just saying, period. The type of cars. You guys look at luxury shit. BMWs, Benzes, Alfa Romeos, just high class shit. Okay? Young people look at that in these videos, seeing you guys, okay, I'm riding this BMW or whatever. You have $30,000. Okay? You can get you a used BMW, a used Benz that got 50 or 60,000 miles on it. Or you can go get you a brand new car for about 27,000. Just say, and we ain't no paid sponsorship or no shit like that. A Hyundai K5 costs you $27,000, $28,000. Brand new, loaded, 0 miles, 100,000 mile warranty. I think it's a lifetime warranty now. That you could pay $27,000, $28,000 for, or go get this BMW or Benz because it's a BMW or Benz, and that makes you look important or makes you look like you living a life that you really live in. It makes no sense to go get a car that you're going to have to put money into. Number one, maintenance on a BMW, maintenance on a Benz is ridiculous. You have to get a tune-up, oil change, tires. If the shit break down and you got to pay out of pocket for it, you might as well go get a new car. Period. So, like I say, social media influencers, you guys can make a change with the mentalities of you younger people that's coming up and make them make good financial decisions versus making the wrong decision. Like right now, it's tax time. It's going people that's going to go out there and buy a BMW with 100,000 miles on it, have a 14% interest rate, and you're paying $600 a month for it. Bad financial decision. You know, social media influences change the dynamic of the young people and some of these older people that listen to you, because you can make the change. You know, financial literacy is very important. Credit is very important.
Do you believe that people judge you for what you drive?
I don't give a damn what somebody judge me for.
Okay, I like that.
Period.
I need to take that.
Who cares? People know who you are, regardless. I'm gonna tell you this: if you drove a goddamn Toyota Tercel, you know what I mean? You know what's gonna happen? Huh? People gonna say, "Well, damn, man, he got some cake. He's well known, but he driving a car that he don't have no payment on. He's stacking his money, so apparently he's doing something right." Oh shoot, maybe I need to change my shit. Maybe I need to get rid of this $800 a month car payment or $1,000 a month car payment. You know what I mean?
That's a lot of monny.
A lot.
That's $800, $1,000, $1,200 a month for a car. It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. But here's my thing. Some people don't want to own homes, property. Some people don't want to do it. But why would you buy a car that you're paying $1,000 a month for and pull up to an apartment? Does that make any sense at all? It was a dude I knew in Atlanta, had a Bentley. He was paying $1,250 a month for it. And guess where he lived at? An apartment. Does that make any sense?
No, that Bentley's the price of a house.
Period. Does it make any sense? Financial literacy is very important, especially for us.
When did you learn about financial literacy?
Late in life. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I love my father to pieces. He was a great provider, but he wasn't good with money. When I was growing up, these are the options that were given to us. You go get nothing about investing, nothing about financial literacy. It was, you go get a job at the steel mill, you go get a job at General Motors, you go get a job at Packard Electric, or you go to the military. That was it. That was the choices. There was nothing about investing in stocks. See, we learned about this shit late in life.
Starting your own business.
Yeah, none of that. It was go to the plant. Go to the plant and work. That's the options, or go to the post office. That was options that was given. You know what I mean? To us, it was nothing about credit, financial literacy. Like I said, it goes back to what I said earlier. By the time we start the race is over. We got to play catch up. So, like I said, social media influencers, you guys can do that. Okay, you can even the playing field. You could teach these young people, like, hey, you don't have to have a BMW. You don't have to have a Benz. It's more important
To be financially
to
secure.
be financially stable. Create your own LLC. Start your own business. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you have life insurance. Make sure you have health insurance. That's what y'all should be talking about instead of drinking and going to party. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But if you're going to do that, make sure you teach somebody something in the process. You know? Teach somebody.
Nah, the world that we live in definitely needs to be taught. I'm still learning every day. Like, you guys only see what I post, but in my free time, I do a lot of freaking research. You know what I'm saying? On my mindset.
I've given him a lot of financial advice, but he hasn't taken it.
You're absolutely right. You wanna know why? Because you live and you learn.
Yeah, and that's right. You learn by your mistakes.
I remember
A mistake is not a mistake, it's a lesson learned.
I made $18,000 in 1 month before and spent it all. If you could ask me, if I could go back in time and redo all of that, man, I did some stupid stuff, bro. I could sit back and look back now, man, I done did some stupid stuff, bro. I was paying $3,100 for an apartment.
45,
Including all my other stuff.
4,500.
I was paying almost $5K in bills that I can't take none of that with me. That's ridiculous. 5 bands a month. You multiply 5 times 12. I ain't the best mathematician.
$65,000.
That's $65,000 I could have had pocketed.
Actually, 60,000.
$60,000 I could have had pocketed. That's freaking ridiculous. But now that I know what I know, I feel like money, the definition of money is different to everybody, but the true definition, you gotta use money to make more money. You know what I'm saying? Money is a tool that I didn't really look at back in the day. I thought money was just
Credit
there
is
to
a
spend.
tool. Credit is a tool. Make sure you have your credit right, because you will never be broke, ever. If you have good credit, you don't have to have a cent in your bank account. But if you have credit, you will always have money. And you will always have a means to provide for yourself. That's why you gotta get your credit right. Get your credit right, you'll never be broke a day in your life.
Would you think credit is one of the most important things as a human that you should?
I'm going to tell you the most important thing, and I learned this late in life. And I try to explain this to younger people as well. The most important thing in this life is time. You can make money back. You can lose money, you can make it. But once this second is gone, I can't get it back. Once the minute, the hour, the day, the month is gone, it's gone forever. You will never see it again. You can't make it up. Each second is gone forever. I could lose $20, but I could make that up and get it back somehow. Time is never, ever given. Period. So time is the most important commodity that you have on this earth. Time is worth more than gold, diamonds, money, period. Time is your most important commodity. Fuck all the other shit. I don't care what nobody else say. Time is your most important commodity. Period. It's all dependent upon what you do.
Thank you.
It's all dependent upon what you do with it.
I can agree 100%. Man, like I said, I'm in Jacksonville right now. I'm in Florida. Shout out to Dang.
We're having a guy.